Hey guys, I am Britt Brap, and as you can see from here, I have a thing for Shoeis. So today we're going to give you a first look exclusive about the brand new Shoei RF-1400. Okay, so before we get into the brand new RF-1400, I do want to briefly introduce myself. Once again, my name is Britt Brap. Brittany, and I'm also Britt Brap on Instagram as well. I broke my back just about 6 months ago on a motorcycle accident in Blairsville, Georgia on Blood Mountain. It's been a whirlwind, but I've documented everything on my YouTube channel, which you're now watching. So if you like motorcycle content and you like your weekly doses of encouragement, please subscribe to my channel down below and like this video if you like helmets, because I'm pretty sure you wear one. And if you don't, you're from Florida and you should wear one anyway. Right here, I've got the beautiful RF-1400. Now, to my right, I've got the RF-1200, and to my left, I've got the XFourteen. These are both my helmets personally. This was my second official helmet, and I later upgraded to the XFourteen. Now we've got the baby of the two, and this is the RF-1400. Because I'm not directly familiar with the RF-1400, because it's an exclusive item that's been under wraps for a while, I've got my husband here. So it just so happens that my husband is the parts department manager of Mountain Motorsports in Lithia Springs, Georgia. And he's known about this for quite some time. So I haven't, but he just told me about it and he just brought this home. So go ahead and tell me, what is the special thing about the baby of the RF-1200 and the XFourteen?
So one of the biggest things I love about this helmet is, for me and for most people in the world, we share an intermediate or long oval style head. What that means is, if you were to look at someone head on, most people have more of an oval head. And one of the things that I did not personally like about the RF-1200, for me, having a longer oval, it didn't fit me really well. The RF-1200 is more of a round head. So if you have someone that has more of a round head shape, it's going to fit them beautifully. For me, I never personally owned one because it didn't fit my head right. I was kind of in between sizes. I have a pretty small head to begin with. So I wear small helmets, and in that helmet, I'm kind of a mix between a small and a medium, just based on how it fits my face. Having worn this, having some experience with it, and me personally being an XFourteen rider, it fits pretty close to an XFourteen. I'm really happy with how it fits. It really hugs my face very well. I don't get any pressure points in it. And I think for the majority of riders, especially if you've tried on an XFourteen, or sorry, if you've tried on an RF-1200 and it didn't fit you quite right, I think you're gonna be very impressed with how this fits. If you've ever tried on an XFourteen and you really liked it, but unfortunately didn't like that price tag, I got a feeling this is going to be the helmet you're looking for. They haven't officially released pricing on it yet. I'm not allowed to speak on that. But I fully expect this helmet to come in around that same price point as the RF-1200. I don't expect this to be a race level price point helmet.
Now, please stay with me. There are no other helmets in this price range that I'm aware of that actually has this feature built into their helmets. And we'll touch on that later on in the video as we tear down the helmet. But let's go ahead and go over the main features of the helmet. So we've got the upgraded vent system, the vent buttons as they go back and forth. We've got a completely redesigned visor system, and we've got a much more aerodynamic shape to the helmet. It is made to fit most Americans and Europeans and humans. It's made to fit most humans' heads because most humans have an intermediate oval shaped head. So let's go ahead and dig deeper into the features of the RF-1400. Let's compare the RF-1200 to the RF-1400. So this was my helmet. It's still my parking lot helmet for parking lot drills and moto gymkhana.
Make sure you practice.
Yes, always practice. One thing I will say I did not like about this helmet was the vents were hard to open and close. Specifically this one with my gloves on. I actually had to take off my gloves and then adjust my vents how I wanted them to be that day. This is a little bit hard. I didn't really know. It's very, very in line with the helmet, and I couldn't really tell where it was to begin with. We also have a vent system down here, but it wasn't as easy as I would have wanted to manipulate with my gloves. Now for the RF-1400. The vents are big and beautiful. So we've got the side vents here, and they are in line with the helmet, and they look great, but they are still in line with the wind as it goes over you, and it actually works in your favor, and you'll find that out in just a second. But as we go over the vents, they're big and they're easy to pull back, and it's obvious feeling it that you can feel if it's open or if it's closed. Same thing with the middle vent. So we've got the middle vent right here compared to this little thing right here. It's, you know, that's hard for me to do with just my finger, but this, I mean, it's big, it's beautiful, and it's easy. And then we've got the chin vent down here as well, and that's very easy to manipulate back and forth, and it will be so with gloves on.
As this RF-1400 is a wind tunnel tested helmet, whereas the RF-1200 was not. So by having these big open vents, it's a lot easier to use with gloves. That's a massive point. And as well as being wind tunnel tested, if you'll notice the differences in these two helmets, all your vents on these helmets, they basically took the shell and then added vents on top of them. If you look on the RF-1400, you have these indentions. So although you're getting a nice flush across the 3 layers for the vents, they're indented into the helmet, into that wind tunnel tested aerodynamics to give you that nice aerodynamic shape, but as well as you're getting that big full-on vent that you can easily access with your gloves.
I don't want to beat up on the RF-1200 too terribly much. It was my helmet, and I still wear it in parking lot drills, and it's a phenomenal helmet. That was the only gripe that I personally had about it. So let's look at the main upgrades that Shoei did on the 1400 versus the 1200. As I said earlier, the vent improvements are pretty dramatic, which is very awesome. It also has a middle visor lock. So for your lefties out there and your righties out there, righties? That was weird. For your right-handers out there, you're able to easily manipulate the visor with both your right and left hand. Right and left hand. So we've got that. We also have Vortices generators on the windscreen. So what? I don't really know what those are. So what are those?
So if you own or have seen an XFourteen, this comes standard on the XFourteen again, which is a almost $1,000 race helmet. What these are designed to do is as that helmet cuts through the air. Have you ever seen a fighter jet or a plane take off, a big jumbo jet? You see those little wind like spirals coming off the wingtips? It's exactly what these are. Those are called vortices. And what they do is they kind of put you in a pocket of air. So as you're cutting through that wind, it's rotating off the side of your helmet, kind of like how a football spins in a spiral, and it's keeping you straight and in line. So one of the biggest benefits going from a non-vortice visor to a vortice visor, you'll notice this, especially if you're leaning off the side of your bike, not behind a windscreen, your head just feels planted. It's not going to move. You're not going to get what we call wind buffeting, where if you're getting hit from the side or a crosswind where your head's moving, it's going to keep you rock solid. So you may not be able to see those, but if you were to have like colored dye in a wind tunnel, it'd be super cool because you'd be able to watch. The air would flow right off the side of the helmet, and then it would spin off to the side just like a fighter jet.
Yeah, it's pretty darn cool. So the Vortice generators are pretty dang cool. I didn't know that whole thing about the fighter jet. But, oh no, today I learned. So, about the visor. Earlier I called it a windscreen. I meant a visor. About the visor. It's a completely redesigned visor. It's upgraded from the RF-1200 and the XFourteen. It's not compatible with those though. That's because of the upgrades that Shoei did. So let's go ahead and look deeper into the upgrades on the visor. Immediately right off the bat, we can see, turn it left here, the field of view is taller on the RF-1400. So if you are in that aggressive tucked position on your motorcycle, you can see higher than the RF-1200. Is it higher than the than the X14?
It's probably gonna be online with the X14.
Okay, so it's in line with the X14 as far as the viewing window. Personally, I like that. That's one of the big upgrades that I saw moving from the 1200 to the X14 personally, because on track, my field of vision is really minimized on the 1200. So it's pretty dang exciting to have the 1400 at the 1200 price point with that upgrade in it. So as you can see, the pin lock pins are actually pushed backward out of your field of view. So just to improve the rider's vision overall, in addition to a wider vertical and horizontal field of view. So a major upgrade on the 1400 as far as the visor is concerned is the sealed gasket that goes all the way around the visor area. So the RF-1200 does have a gasket, but this one's a little bit more technologically advanced. So as you can see, turning it around, the visor is actually held on by a spring in the system on the side of the helmet. So instead of being a quick release, which it's still quick, but just not quite as quick as the 1200, instead of the RF-1200's quick release, you actually have to pull this lever and then push forward to release it. And the reason behind that spring tension is because when it's closed and you have a full seal all the way around the visor, on cold days it's going to be warmer, and most of all, it's going to reduce the wind noise, which is pretty huge in my opinion.
So I'm really excited about this feature. This is something I was super excited that my X14 had, and for those of you with an X14, you might have an idea where this is going. So let's go ahead and flip this thing over, tear out the insides, and see what I'm talking about. So I don't know if you can see in the video, not much to see, but the internals of this helmet, just like any other Shoei helmet, we have a nice moisture wicking material. It's going to keep you nice and dry when it's super hot and sweaty here in Georgia. It's going to keep you nice and comfortable when it's super cold. You also have a comfort liner that's going to be soft on the skin. But if we really dig in and pull out these cheek pads, you'll see something that the X14 has, which again is almost $1,000 helmet, that this helmet also carries. So if we reach over here and grab the cheek pad from the X14, you'll notice they look almost the exact same. Let me pick that up. So what I'm talking about here, and like I said, the X14 guys probably know by now, you have an adjustable cheek pad. What that means is you can control the pitch that this helmet's going to sit on top of your head. So for those super aggressive track riders, or those guys who are just in a constant leaned over position, you can actually take this helmet by adjusting these pins, and you can adjust how high or low this helmet rides on your head and pull it around the helmet and just give you a nice wind tunnel. One of the things I think you as an XSR rider are going to notice dramatically is a little bit quieter, as well as possibly more comfortable in an upright riding position. So if we were to take this guy and tuck it into a really deep tuck, you still have those aerodynamics. We have this little lip on the back to give you kind of a spoiler feel. But for 90% of your riding, you're going to be city riding upright. And you notice all these contours, everything's pulling that wind behind it, just like the X14 when it's in a tuck position. The only difference is the ventilation system on this and the aerodynamics of this helmet are designed to be just like this. So all your vents are forward facing, they're getting air, they're pulling air through them as you're cutting through that wind. Your vortice generators are creating your vortices. Everything that this helmet is designed, again, it's a wind tunnel tested helmet, is designed for that upright riding position for that normal city rider.
So, as we continue on with this review, this helmet's pretty dang awesome, and it's got a ton of upgrades from the RF-1200 and the X14. Personally, I have an X14. I custom made my X14, designed it, that is. And I'm not really in the market for a new helmet, but guess who is?
Again, X14 rider, that's my personal helmet that she designed. I'm honestly not really in the market for one, but I'm going to buy this helmet. It fits more of my commuting needs. It's not as aggressive but it's going to give me the comfort levels and the features that I really loved in my X14 in a more affordable and well-rounded package. So I'm very excited for this helmet because at the price point it's coming in, it's a helmet I can buy, I can wear, you know, every day when I ride to work. I can just wear it out and about. But if I want to get super aggressive, I want to go to the track, I have that highly aggressive inspired helmet in my X14. When I want to just cruise to work and not really be super tucked in and just kind of relax, I have this, in my opinion, perfect helmet that's designed for that. Same safety rating, Snell approved, multiple interior safety elements that are the same elements in this helmet. It's just designed as a comfortable, well-rounded, I don't want to say commuter's helmet, but a helmet that 90% of riders are going to get more benefit out of using.
So you say it's not really a commuter's helmet, but it is. I'm just going to tack on to what you said. This helmet is for pretty much everyone, unless you're the 10% that he was talking about that are track-only riders. I mean, a Harley rider would look badass in this thing. I mean, look at it. It's just incredible, and with the designs they've got coming out, I mean, it's just all the colors and all the designs and the fit and everything about this helmet is designed to please a little bit of everyone in the riding community, which is pretty dang awesome. They've just listened to the consumers, and they've listened to us, guys. They've listened to us, and they've improved upon their amazing helmets that they already had. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time that you've taken to join me in this RF-1400 review. Please don't forget to like the video down below if you did in fact like this video, and tell me, would you think about buying the RF-1400? I think after a while I might. Eventually, when I do get into and begin my racing career, short-lived racing career, because racing is expensive, I will most likely promote my X14 to be my track only helmet. And while I did love my Arrive for the week I had it before I wrecked, I'm probably going to end up getting the RF-1400 just for my street oriented helmet. But that's going to be a little bit while down the road, just a little bit. I gotta get comfortable on the road again. So thank you so much, guys, for watching, and until next week, please ride safe, and everyone just be nice to each other, because you never know what someone else is going through.